Get ready. Lave Radio.
This is Second Technician Fozzer Forrester, and you are listening to the Lave Radio Music Medley. This next track is for all you folks slaving away for Universal Cartographics. For the explorers out there, this is Two Quiet Sons and their fantastic track, Meteor Passing, taken from their album Kelp Mission and available to buy now on iTunes.
Hey Commanders, this is Fatal Nut, and you're about to listen to my track, Grace of the Emperor, on Lave Radio. Visit me and other great Elite Dangerous players over at www.emperorsgrace.com. Thank you, and enjoy.
It's time to pick up arms, to reflect the space, to reflect the hand of the Emperor.
Thank you for downloading Escape Velocity. This series is supported by a community of fantastic patrons, and I wouldn't be able to produce it without their backing. To find out more, please visit patreon.com/Radio Theatre Workshop. Here's a message from some of my awesome backers.
Oh dear, there's 3 somethings on my sensors. I hope this bucket of bolts will hold out.
Hey, fellow commander. Would you be interested in joining up with the Knights of Karma? You won't regret it.
No, thank you. I'm already a guest over there.
Oh, really? What's your commander name?
Commander Conquer.
Oh, so you're the one they've been talking about. Well, we could always do with more members like you, Commander.
You know, members actually get a lot of bonuses, from participating in fun events to winging up with fellow commanders and hanging out with them as well.
Well, that seems pretty cool. I think I'll go and join as a member right now, and get this bucket of bolt service.
Shields offline.
Well, there goes my shields. Didn't need them anyway.
I'm just glad it wasn't mine.
How weak are your shields? I mean, I only bumped you up, what, 20 meters per second? At least.
Hey! I love my 2D shield generator.
You haven't upgraded that yet. It's a lot of space wasted, man. Just saying.
Alright, boys. That's enough playtime and chit-chat. Let's move out. Don't forget the task at hand.
The galaxy is a dangerous place, Commander, so if you're looking for a wing of like-minded pilots to join, just visit inara.cz/wing/1038 or visit Carpini Terminal over in Kawakana.
Escape Velocity has a limited range of merchandise which supports the production of the show and looks and feels great. At the moment we have t-shirts and travel mugs, both featuring original Escape Velocity artwork and available in a range of sizes and colours. The travel mugs were limited edition to LaveCon, so when they're gone, they're gone. If you'd like some Escape Velocity swag, please visit www.radiotheatreworkshop.com and click on the store, where you can get all these things as well as our other great audio dramas.
I'm out of the airlock, heading to the cluster of pods.
Are they all together?
Mostly. Must have been in the same cargo hold when the transport blew.
Watch yourselves for wreckage and shrapnel. But don't take too long. I'm seeing police traffic deeper in system. They'll be on us in no time.
Trust me, I don't want to stay out here a minute longer than I have to. You see them on my camera? Are these the same pods?
Looks like them, yeah.
Coming up on the first pod, there's a faceplate near the top.
It should open.
Yeah, it's just fiddly with these gloves. Okay, got it. It's empty.
Okay, we don't have a lot of room on board. There's cargo space for maybe 3 tons in the racks, so tag 5 or 6 of the pods that took the least damage in the explosion, and I'll get the scoop deployed.
Okay. What's that?
Sark? Problem?
I thought I saw something in the wreckage.
Police response is 5 minutes out. What do you see?
I thought I saw someone moving about. It's hard to see with so much debris. Oh, gods, they know. We couldn't have.
What is it?
I don't understand this.
Sark, report.
There's bodies, Bane. Dozens and dozens of bodies. We killed a passenger ship.
Amid the stars in the sky, humanity expands and thrives as it pushes back the boundaries of the universe. From the luxury of the core systems to the harsh worlds of the frontier, men still fight. Some fight for survival or greed. Some fight for a flag and others for retribution. But across the lonely darkness, they all share one aim: to be elite.
Escape Velocity, an Elite Dangerous audio adventure serial written and produced by Christopher Jarvis. Series 3, Episode 6, The Space Between Us.
In the beginning, cloning existed as a promise. The chance to shake off our mortal limitations and create a way to live and explore the universe forever. But the science and technology was held by a few elite members of their respective societies. Dictators used it to keep themselves in power. The Federation tried to use it to create immortal pilots. The Empire used elements of it to enhance their foot soldiers. And they all controlled it, denied the research on ethical and commercial grounds. But for us, your mother and I, it was a chance to bring back the children we lost, to save them and countless other lives. So we found a buyer, 2 buyers in fact, and chose to live our lives in the shadow of society, forever working on illegal technology, but being paid to do it by the very same governments who would hang us in public if we were ever discovered.
Why tell me all this now?
I'm not telling you anything, May. You understand, don't you?
You're in my head.
And I can give a voice to everything you know. Even things you don't realize you've worked out yet.
But I can see you now. Not just when I'm asleep. You're here, standing in front of me like you never went away.
I hate to be the one to tell you this, May. But you took quite a hit. My being here might not be a good thing. I could be a blood clot, or brain damage.
My scans checked out fine.
Your heart stopped, May. That doesn't sound fine.
You saved me. You both saved me.
Then let's just call me something that's shaken loose. You felt more and more alone and isolated, despite the care of your new crew. You need someone to talk to who understands your past, where you came from. I'm here whenever you need me.
There was something you said while I was unconscious. You wanted me to go to Van Maanen's star.
The answers you need are there.
Not that. You've said there were others. Thane,
Who are you talking to?
I was just thinking out loud.
We need to go. We've got a big problem.
New radar contact.
This is federal authority. You have committed crimes of piracy and murder, and you will stand down and submit to arrest.
How far out?
8K closing.
Then we need to get the hell out of here. 2 police Vipers closing fast.
I'm moving.
7K. 6K.
They'll be in weapons range in seconds.
Can't you wave a badge or something?
Warrants and kill orders are issued electronically, and we don't have one. Unofficial op, remember?
How can I forget?
3 kilometers.
Witching hell. Hyperdrive spooling up.
If they've got cloud analyzers, they'll be waiting for us at the other end.
Then we'll have to think of something.
We can't take much more of this.
How much fuel have we got?
2 tons.
Enough for 2 jumps then.
Thane, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking if I overload the hyperdrive, they can't follow us.
A misjump? Are you insane? We could spend the rest of our lives floating for decades between stars.
Yeah, or we could spend our last few minutes getting shot at by your people.
Witching hell!
We'll make it. 2 tons of fuel. 1 misjump, 1 jump back to a scoopable star.
Assuming we end up in range.
May?
We'll make it. I can feel it. You should jump.
Are you sure?
You should jump now. Where are we?
I don't know. Navigation's rebooting.
It's so dark. Where are the stars?
We can't have travelled that far. We can't.
Wait. This is witch space.
Witch space?
Modern drives are designed to avoid it. Too many pilots lost. Too much violence and death.
Where is it?
It's outside the real galaxy. My grandfather called it witch space. The Darklands. The Thargoids' realm.
Thargoids?
He saw them. He remembers Thargoid incursions into human systems. Governments scrabbling to come up with tech to fight their incredible ships. And he remembered the time they came for him. They were doing a pretty normal run. Somewhere along the frontier. He never said where. Their hyperspace vector started to go screwy, and they ended up in a place, he said, had no stars, no worlds, no light to guide by. Until they saw the ship. 8 sides like a spider, stretched, waiting to jump. It span and flew like no human ship could ever be designed. No comms, no mercy. They just attacked the moment my grandfather's ship had settled from the jump. He never said how they got away. I think some parts of that story were just too much for him to relive.
Where are the Thargoids now?
No one's seen them in decades. There was pretty fierce fighting between humans and Thargoids once, then one day they just disappeared from the galaxy. Some say the imps found a way to wipe them out. Others say they left our galaxy and went back to wherever they came from. But my grandfather said that in all that black, they were just hanging there, waiting for a ship to stray into their web. And he reckoned even if we didn't see them anymore, they'd be out there, somewhere, waiting to prey on humanity again.
How's that hyperdrive coming along, Thane?
Just coming back online now.
Then can we get out of here, please?
Star charts updating. Finding systems. Analyzing constellations. Hyperdrive online.
Let's get out of this place.
I never thought I'd be so happy to see the stars.
Looks like we've appeared in Fomalhaut. Space, that's light years from where we left. And we lucked out, there's a station here.
No stations. We're marked as fugitive. We fuel scoop and go straight to Eta Cassiopeia. No stops.
Fuel scooping? With this hull?
I want these pods off my ship and my record cleared.
What about the bodies?
That was your intel. This is FIS's mistake, not ours. We go to FIS headquarters and hand it over.
If you think.
And let's never do this again.
New radar contact. Scanning. Craft is designated EV-223. Registered to Commander Elias Thane. Wanted. 20,000 credit bounty awarded for arrest or capture.
There he is. I knew they would come here. You haven't been entirely worthless, Kurlek.
Now will you let me go?
Not until we're finished here, old boy. I can feel him. So close. I will share my darkness. I will share my... No! I will find Thane and I'll make him explain why I feel like this.
Dallas, look, it's not my place to say, mate, but you're looking really shaky. Shouldn't we just find a medical centre or something?
No! I will not be diverted from my task. Thane, that's where my answers are. I will find my guiding light and then I will be complete.
Haggerty.
Sir, it's me.
Sark. Report.
We got it, sir. We got the evidence.
You got the pods.
6 of them. Plus Thane and May's testimony and the flight records from the escape velocity. We've got them, sir. There is nothing protecting Colmac Reeve anymore.
Excellent work, Agent Sark. Bring it in straight away to my desk.
Oh, one problem, sir. We're marked as wanted and there's a fat bounty on us. We won't be able to get within 1,000 clicks of Morg's mortuary.
I'll sort the approach. Your landing clearance will be pre-authorized. Get that evidence to me, Agent.
There's something else. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, Spit it out.
There were people on that transport, sir. Dozens and dozens of people.
Well, that can't be.
I saw them. The ship blew up with very little damage, and the wreckage was littered with bodies.
Well, did you scan for life signs?
We did, sir, and we got nothing. Not even a pilot. As far as we could tell, that transport was unmanned.
Don't get distracted by secondary issues, Agent. Bring me that evidence. Everything else is secondary.
Yes, sir.
Daddy? Daddy? Where have you gone? We didn't finish talking. You were going to tell me about the other clones. You can't disappear on me now. What's the point of you appearing if you can't answer me when I need you? Daddy! We're so close to Van Maaren's star. I can see it on the local chart. It's right next door. What do I do? Talk to me, damn you!
Request approved. Cleared to land on pad 1-5. Landing complete. Deploying ground services. Have a productive visit, Commander.
Welcome to Morgue's Mortuary. Commercial executives, please report to military reception on level 3. Serving military personnel should report to the...
My CO's office is on level 3. I'm not sure if my clearance will get us all in.
I don't exactly want to be left loitering in the biggest naval checkpoint in federal space.
Right, I'm just saying we might need additional clearances.
I might be able to talk our way in.
Don't try anything. Not here. Even if you can convince door security, there's guards with guns watching every camera and audio feed. Any odd behaviour and you'll bring the entire barracks out.
Fine.
You can relax. I know there's been a lot of trouble, but you're in secure federal hands now. Everything's going to be fine. Look, there's a visitor lounge near the office. You can get a drink, have a seat. Just wait for me to call you.
You two, ID. Let's see some documentation.
This is a terrible idea.
SARC Agent DR, reporting to Director Haggerty's office. These are with me. Come into the guest lounge on level 3.
Okay, Agent. You may continue.
Thane,
Now this is an impressive lobby.
Daddy?
Did you say something?
No, I thought I saw something.
Just keep cool. We'll get through this.
You did see something, though, didn't you?
I'm just going to use that drink dispenser.
We're going to a bar.
Yeah, I'm just thirsty right now. I need some water.
Oh, embarrassed by your old dad already?
Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to talk to you for hours and you've been nowhere. You wait until I'm in a public place to make me engage in this ridiculous shadow theatre.
Your mind chooses when I appear, May. There's no point being angry with me.
Fine. So you're here because I need to figure something out. What is it this time?
You saw it, but didn't realise. Look again.
The soldiers?
Not the soldiers. Come on, focus. In the queue for disembarkation.
Oh, space.
You're all very resourceful children, aren't you?
It's a clone.
One of your sisters. Looks like she's very close to reaching Van Maaren's star.
So I have to stop her.
What's your instinct?
Hang on, someone's pulling her out of line.
Who?
I can't see. She looked right at me. She's seen me.
May, wait.
Can't stop. That guy tipped her off. She's running. Hey, come back. Come back. Oh. Dallas.
You are in a hurry.
Let go of me.
Not until little sister has escaped. Can't have you interfering.
What did you say to her?
Only the truth. That you are a defective clone and you're trying to stop her mission to reach Van Maaren's star.
If she goes there, it will mean war.
I couldn't possibly comment. Need to know and all that.
Why are you here?
You know that. I'm looking for Thane.
You won't find him.
I already know where he is. But I can't have you getting in my way. Security!
What are you doing?
Security! This girl is an escaped prisoner and a wanted fugitive. Help!
Leave Thane alone.
I can't leave him alone. He's the light and I am the darkness. I should thank you.
Thank me? Why?
Do you think I would have found him if you hadn't been by his side this whole time?
No.
You have led me to my guiding light. You have shown me the way.
You don't have to do this. They're controlling you. It isn't you.
You, come with us.
Let go of me!
I'm sorry, May. You can't get in the way of this.
Tobias, no! Think! You didn't always feel this way!
Tobias?
Come on, you. Stop struggling.
We were brother and sister in another life, Tobias. Think! Think of all the lies you've seen and the memories you've hidden. This obsession with Thane isn't you. It isn't you.
Security, we need backup on level 3. Got a potential fugitive struggling.
Tobias? Is that... No. I must find Thane. I'm so close!
No! Tobias! Dallas, stop!
Stop moving, you!
Do you have the suspect in custody?
Roger, they are subdued.
You have to let go of me!
You will stay down, scum! If this wasn't a public place, I'd gut you for the things you've done. Terrorist filth.
What have I done?
Don't even try and deny it, murderer.
Sounds serious. You'd better make sure I'm the right suspect.
I'd better make sure.
You should scan my face and review the station's security system. See what else I've done.
Hold still. I'm going to check your face against the cameras.
Subject found in green zone. Suspect has jumped a gate and illegally boarded a transport.
No, she's getting away.
Hey, how can you be there as well as here?
Clearly you've got the wrong person. You should let me go.
What? Yeah, I mean no. You will stay down and put your hands behind your back.
He doesn't know who he's dealing with, does he, May? Kill him.
No.
You dare defy me? Hands behind your back.
He's wasting your precious time. Tell him to put his gun in his mouth.
No, you mustn't.
What?
You have the wrong suspect. The real one got away. She's heading for your wife. Your wife is alone in your quarters. She will kill her.
Alana? No!
You'd better run. If you run, you can stop her. I'll be here when you get back.
Alana, I'm coming!
Well done.
Never tell me to kill again.
I'm only telling you what's in your head.
We need to stop her leaving on that shuttle.
So, did we kill those people?
I don't see how we could have. We scanned that ship over and over. There were no people on board. None. Maybe they were transporting bodies for burial or something.
Something doesn't feel right. Federal military stations are cushier than I expected. It's true what they say, you and the Empire really are two sides of the same coin.
We are nothing like them. Personal gains, social position, influence, power, all at the cost of their own people.
Wow. Being in the Federation heartland really brings out your colours, doesn't it?
I signed up because the Federation offers law for everyone. Every citizen deserves justice, not just those with a title.
An Imperial would say even a slave gets the same justice as a citizen. But in the Federation, it's only those who can pay their way.
Imperial ambassadors of all systems have been quick to praise the Federal initiative. We wish to offer our most profound congratulations to all Federal worlds on this most celebrated decade of millennial
The Federation and the Empire seem to get along fine.
Civilians. You wouldn't believe the number of times I've nearly seen us come to blows. It doesn't take much. People like me fight hard to stop things tipping over the edge.
So, what the hell is that?
Carrying 92 passengers on a pleasure cruise of the 82 Eridani system. Please be aware that this footage is graphic. The ship carrying
Isn't that
nearly
us?
100 passengers was attacked by
can't
pirates
be.
and destroyed. Our location reporter, Eric Grant Simon, is on the scene.
Here, you can see the devastation caused by this attack in the Quiet Federation system of 82 Eridani in the skies above Radigan. While this system is no stranger to pirate violence,
times, it's the suddenness and ferocity of this unprovoked attack against holidaymakers that sent this and neighboring systems into a state of mourning today. The pirate ship struck from nowhere before disabling the craft and striking it with improvised explosives, causing a catastrophic reactor failure. Crews are still scooping bodies from the void, and there are no survivors expected.
This is impossible. You said you'd fix it.
My boss, Director Haggerty, he said he'd sort it out once we were here.
I can't believe I'm stuck in the middle of the Federation fleet while my face is plastered all over the news.
Thane, I need to talk to you.
May, we're in trouble.
I know, Dallas is here.
What?
I'm sorry, he must have tracked me here somehow. It's all my fault. There's another May clone. She's heading for Van Marnen's star.
May, slow down. I'm losing you.
I need to get after her before she leaves the station. I've lost Dallas. I think he's coming for you. Get Zark's people to protect you. I'll try and draw him away.
You two, on the floor, now.
Wait, please, I'm a federal agent.
Get on the floor. I'm authorized to use lethal force.
Listen to me, Sergeant. Ah!
Sark!
Subdue that prisoner and check her injury. Make sure she's not bleeding out. Dispatch, this is Sergeant Jennifer Hansen.
Go ahead, Jen.
I have the suspects in custody. I say again, I have the suspects.
We lost her. She's gone.
You don't know that.
I know it. If she has half my skills, she was on that shuttle and halfway to Van Marnen by now.
You must go after her.
I can't.
If you don't stop her, who will? She will rain death and destruction down on that planet, and with it, war between the Federation and the Empire. A war that will burn for years and cost billions of lives.
We rescue Thane first.
Thane can look after himself. Do you really think he's safer when you're around?
What does that mean?
Think about it. All this death, all this danger. On whom does it centre? You. You have somewhere you need to be. You have a galaxy to save, and you want to push all that to one side and save this pilot. Why?
I'm afraid.
Of what?
Of what I'll find out when I catch up with myself. Afraid my mind will change like Dallas and I'll become a vicious creature of instinct.
My little girl would not become a monster.
Your little girl?
Always.
How are you doing, Sark?
I've been better. Forgotten how much I hate getting shot.
Just lie still.
I think I blacked out back there. What did they say?
Nothing good. I think they're going to bring back hanging just for us.
The Federation wouldn't let that happen. Trust me.
Trust? They set us up, Sark. All those bodies on that ship, the AI pilot, the sudden disappearance of your CO when we arrived. The Federation planned this.
How?
I don't know how. Or why.
Visitor for prisoner 68020.
Hello, Thane.
Witching hell. Dallas.
Shh. It's okay. I won't hurt you. I just want to be near you.
Stay away. How did you get in here?
There were some guards that tried to stop me. They're sleeping now.
Dallas, you don't have to do this. Stay away from me.
I have to! You're in my head and on my skin. When I close my eyes to sleep, I can't rest. I see you all the time.
Why? Why am I so important?
I don't know. You never mattered to me before.
I mean, why am I so important to the matriarch?
The matriarch?
Yes. Well, didn't she tell you to come for me? Isn't she the one pulling your strings?
What do you mean, strings?
Well, she assigned you to me, didn't she?
Yes. She told me you were my alpha. You were the one who would make me feel complete. I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
I've changed. You changed me. No. She changed me. I don't know how to fight this.
Fight it?
You're trying to confuse me. I must share my darkness.
This isn't you. Think back. Why did the matriarch assign you? When?
It must have been after you escaped Colmac Reeve. She said you were my guiding light, that I must touch you so that I might share my darkness.
I said stay back. Don't touch me.
I'm not strong enough to fight.
Yes, you are. I've travelled system after system with May, your sister. Watched her wrestle with her conscience and her nature, and I've seen her fight through it all. If you have even half of her strength, you can fight this.
But I'm so close. Come closer, Thane. I must share my darkness with you.
No! Sark!
You left the door open! Go!
Not without you.
I'm not walking anywhere like this. Go!
I'll be back for you.
Get off me! Where did you come from?
I've been lying on the cot the whole time. Do you mistake me for a pile of bedclothes? How rude!
Thane! Come back!
Oh, no, you don't.
Get your hands off me! I would kill you if I had the time.
You mean if Mother whispered my name?
What do you mean?
I know I'm going to pass out now. Enough of a head start for Thane, I think.
No! Thane! Thane!
There's got to be a way out. Got to be. One of the guards Dallas killed. Should have a pass or a key or... Got it!
Access to non-secure zone granted.
Thane! Come back!
Okay, now close. Close. Close! Close! Close!
Thane! Let me through!
No. You'll kill me.
I have to touch you! Please!
This isn't you, Dallas. I've seen it with May, and I'm telling you, you don't have to do what they programmed you to do. What are you doing?
I've remotely sealed the bulkhead behind you. You won't let me in, I won't let you leave.
Why does the matriarch think I've become a problem?
That doesn't matter.
It matters to me. I'm your guiding light, aren't I? If I'm going to guide, I need to understand. Help me understand this, Dallas, and I'll open the door.
I don't know why.
You do. You tracked us here. You're every bit as capable as May at joining the pieces together.
It was the cryopods.
What about them?
Open the door!
The cryopods, Dallas. What about them?
You found out about them. You were going to report it to the Federation.
So?
So you weren't my Alpha. Until then. You were Alpha 45. No, you are 39. But you were 45.
The matriarch is using you. Just like she used Lorand. Just like she tried to use May.
She's still using May.
What? How?
Everyone will see at Van Marnenstar.
May won't go there. You failed.
She's already gone. Chasing after another clone she spotted on the station.
Another clone?
I know. Convenient, eh?
What's wrong?
Not sure. Fighting this harder than I thought.
You're fighting it?
Maybe you're right, Thane. I won't be used. I knew something was wrong. Like a second voice in my head, telling me what to do. Voice sounds like my father. I don't know what they did in my head, but I know I don't care about you. I feel this burning obsession for you, but in my head I know you don't matter. You are nothing to me.
You have to let me go after May. If the matriarch is using her too, you have to let me stop her.
Why should I?
Think! How much of your life is better because of the matriarch's actions, and how much is worse? What good will come of May following that plan? Come on, man, she's your sister!
We're not a real family. Never were.
But flying around this empty, soulless universe looking for allies, I've had to create my own. But you, even if you're created, even if you're a copy of some dead person, you have actual family. They gave that to you, and they can't take it away.
Fine. Go. Help May.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. I don't know how much longer I can fight my instincts.
Good man, Dallas.
Go to hell. What have I done? What am I?
Thane. Space, this is hard to say. By the time you get this message, I'll be gone. I realise now how much travelling with me has put you in harm's way, and how easy it is for my enemies to find you through me. It's time I stopped being selfish and let you go. There was another clone of me at the station. I couldn't catch her, but she was hell-bent on going to Van Marnen's star. That place is drawing me. And if it's drawing me, it must have the same power over all the others like me. I'm afraid of what they might do. They haven't had my father's guiding hand. And they haven't had you, teaching them how to be better, kinder, stronger. I have to find them and stop them from doing whatever it is we're all programmed to do. I can't ask you to come with me, Thane. Because I know you'll say yes. And I know you'll put yourself on the line for me, time and time again. You're here because of me. Dallas found you because of me. I can't watch you die because of me. I hope Sark's people free you and put your life back on track. Goodbye, Thane. I hope I get to see you again soon.
Departure shuttles are now boarding from the green zone. All passengers must now report to their allotted boarding gates.
Are you ready to go, May?
Yes, I'm ready.
FIS promised to provide an official explanation for events soon. Available reports indicate that the Merlin-class fighter escaped Velocity, snuck into the federal naval system in order to commit further acts of terrorism against public and...
Federal flight control now offline. You're clear to resume own navigation.
Thane. May. I'm so sorry. Oscar, Andy, everyone, I failed. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hold still, prisoner. Where is Commander Thane?
I am a federal agent and you can't hold me. This was an official mission. I'd like to speak to Director.
Someone, get a medic. This prisoner is down too.
Who am I? What have I become? Please, help me.
Hey, get off me.
Please, you have to help. I'm lost. Help me. I've lost everything.
Get a job, loser.
No, wait. I had a job. I had light. Please, you have to help. I'm lost. I've lost everything.
It's all lit up and out with you.
In episode 6 of Escape Velocity, Christopher Jarvis played Thane, Amy Timms, May, Liam McCoy, Dallas, Janet Westwood-Wilson, Sark, and Alan Wales played Colonel, with Verity Croft as the computer. Dean Sheridan played Blake Haggerty, Di Reese, Senator Havelock, James Trott, Police Central, Jamie Shearman and Lisa Vu were the Federal soldiers. The LRN news segment was performed by Paul Stefano, David Devereaux, Kareem Crompley and Doug Brown. Escape Velocity was written and produced by Christopher Jarvis, with additional music by Alan Strain. That episode featured Balloon by Boudica, with thanks to Anna Elias.
Just been handed a new bulletin. The terrorist Elias Thane has escaped federal custody and is at large in the Eta Cassiopeia system. He is considered dangerous, and federal intelligence has issued a rare kill-on-sight order for Elias Thane. If you see this man, FIS are offering a substantial financial reward for his capture or death. We'll bring more on this story as it develops.
This work contains non-law fiction set in the Elite Dangerous galaxy. Elite Dangerous is copyright 2014-17 Frontier Developments plc. For more information and full credits, please visit escapevelocity.laveradio.com. Thanks for listening. Reviews are essential in drawing new listeners to the show and helping the series to continue. If you enjoy Escape Velocity, please leave a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Pod Directory, or wherever you heard the show. You can also review Escape Velocity Series 3 on Goodreads. Thank you.
Mugs are just the shape I can't forget. They give me pleasure and regret, something to treasure, or the price you have to pay. Mugs, maybe the sting that slapping brings, maybe that stain with coffee rings, maybe 100 different things to really put you in a daze. Mugs, maybe they're thrown or they're just shoved, maybe they're hated or just loved, may turn each victim to tears or to a mess. Mugs may be the anger of my soul, the shards lodge up inside your hole. Mugs may help you reach your goal inside your mind. I love jumpers almost as much as I love mugs. I wonder if I could put a mug on a jumper. Or even better, I could put a jumper on a mug. Are you writing this down, Michelle?
Yes, I am all over it, your brunelness, sir.
Mugs that always seem so happy in my hand. Some people say they'd like them banned. I just love to see them when they fly. Mugs, porcelain love that will always last. I relive my greatest hits of the past that I'll remember till the day I die. Mugs are just the reason I survive. Well, next to jumpers, they're why I'm alive. You have to care for them through the rough and ready years. And I'll take the handle in my grip and twat the fuckers that give me jip. And if there's tea, I'll take a sip. The meaning of my life is mugs. Oh, mugs! Mugs. Mugs.
Commander Kumar the Far here, and you're listening to
Lave Radio.
Right now, I am a passenger on an Orca, and if you want to hear more of my stuff, it's at soundcloud.com/KUMARTHEFFAR-1. Now, if you'll excuse me, we are just leaving to do a round trip of Sagittarius A. Hutton Orbital. You've already been? Fuck!
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
A show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
And the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from an orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
I think we're live, Colin.
Well, okay. Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 426 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Defire, otherwise known as Colin Ford. I am the Chief Archivist on Lave Station. And joining me in the Orange Sidewinder Bar for this episode, we have, as usual, our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Edelweiss, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
You might be the chief archivist, but are you recording this show? Is anybody recording this show? Is this show even going out? We don't know!
I'm sure we can download it from Twitch.
We might have to.
Yeah, we might have to. On the of Twitch, our resident Twitch expert, we have our staff liaison officer, Commander Psychit.
I wouldn't even think that we're an expert. It's all good. Hi, folks. How you doing?
And to fill out the crew, we have our Banksy stunt driver, Commander Alec Turner, who does or does not exist.
Hello. Good evening. Is this thing on?
I'm hoping so. Now, if you wish, you can join us live. Apparently, Ben is hanging out in-game in Lave Station.
Just outside Lave Station at the moment, but I will be returning at some point. Well,
will you be running around in open?
I am in open, yes. I'm in open tonight. I was in open last night.
Yes.
I might even be in open tomorrow. I don't know.
So that's where you can join us if you want to join us while we hang out in game. If you can't get to us in game, you can join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat. Or go straight to twitch.tv/Lave Radio, or we're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter as well. Enjoy. So let us quickly go round the crew, see what they've been up to for the last week. And this week, I think Commander Psychit's turn to go first.
I went first last week. That's not fair. What did I do last week? There was something that I did last week that was really. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Vox Machina started, season 2 started, and that was very good. It was very good. I watched it with someone who wasn't familiar with the actual play and someone who was familiar with the actual play. And let me tell you how differently some of those lines hit if you have seen the show and if you haven't seen the show. It was very good. Highly recommend if you've got Amazon Prime. It's worth checking out because Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
It's wonderful in spite of Wizards of the Coast, not because of them.
Although they did give in, didn't they?
No. There's lots more to fight for, Colin. Don't you look at that pull in the well under your eyes. We're still fighting. We're still on the front lines, as it were. I've been playing a lot of. I haven't really done much in a non-digital sense. I've been playing a lot of the new update of Stranded Alien Dawn, which was released today, but I've had it over the weekend and I've been having a dabble, and you can tame animals, and that's really fun. That's the new edition. I feel like for some reason there's something telling me in the back of my mind that I should be saying that at the moment there are no alpacas in the game. But that feels like it's from yesteryear, and I can just move on with everything now. Aside from that, not really been doing that much.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's been a quiet week. Next week might be a bit busier. This week's been mostly like planning stuff and collaborating on some new advert kind of things, which you people might hear soon.
Yes. What's this about, an alpaca farm advert?
We haven't done an alpaca farm advert. That was a joke.
I hope so. I hope so. Otherwise, I might have to retaliate. Right. Commander Turner.
Thought it would be me. Hello.
You thought it would be you. Why?
Yeah, I guessed by a process of elimination.
Well, it was a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, well. Actually,
it was a 1 in 3 because I could have chosen myself.
You could. That would be unusual. We should do that.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
do it last. I know.
What have I been up to? The attic clearance is ongoing. I sold the aforementioned BBC Master successfully.
Oh, right. Good for you.
Along with all peripherals and discs. So that's one less thing to worry about. No, it was quite sad actually. But what was really funny is so my dad was really into remote controlled stuff, particularly boats. So it's something I did with him a lot as a kid, was go out and build and then drive boats around lakes. And I had an old boat in the attic. It was huge, actually. I had the old boat in the attic and the remote control and toolboxes and a remote control car, all sorts of stuff. So I took it down to the dump, initially not to throw in a skip, but they've got a shop there and I thought they might like it. And the bloke that guards the like the landfill skip wouldn't let me throw it. He was heartbroken. He absolutely loved all of it, and said, it's like I can't let you throw that. It's sacrilege. And he took the remote control off me, even though it's ancient, and he took the car off me. And then he sort of said I didn't have he didn't have room for the boat, but he still wouldn't let me do it. He was almost in tears. It was quite moving, actually. And then I was taking it back to the car, and this woman came running across the dump, and basically said, "Were you trying to get rid of that boat? I'll have it." And she took it. She loved it and took it, put it in her car, and drove off. So good stuff. It's all finding nice homes, which is great.
Yeah. Do you feel that if you'd taken it to the Antiques Roadshow, they would just turn around and say, "This is such a find," and everybody else has taken it away?
I mean, I was quite surprised at the price that BBC peripherals and BBC micros go for on eBay. I mean, reconditioned ones go for like 350 quid a pop. So interesting. Yeah, God knows what this remote controlled stuff would go for. I don't. Anyway, in game, I I've spent far too long. So I've been driving up skyscrapers.
Yes.
So following that, I spent far too long trying to jump off the top of a skyscraper and onto the back of a Thargoid, but it just wasn't happening. I mean, the Thargoid combat, it's quite rare that it comes down low, and then I'd be sort of mid-jump and they'd suddenly decide to bugger off and chase someone and leave me floating in mid-air. So I got bored of it. I decided it was not possible. So you might remember some time ago we went racing around this place called Ice Mordor.
Yes, I remember that.
So it had quite a long day-night cycle, and I figured it must be day by now. So I spontaneously flew 8,000 light years to discover that it's pitch black. So I've decided to go exploring. I'm already 8,000 light years away. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to jump into the void and go where nobody else has gone, and do some proper exploring and do some proper plant scanning of
things.
I've never before discovered plants, and it's great. I'm loving it, actually.
Yeah, it's got a kind of nice, relaxing Zen feel to it, hasn't it?
It's cool. What I haven't done before, I've tended to follow stuff and go places that have already been, places that have already got 8 or 9 plants on them. And what I'm using, actually, I need to find out more about this sort of stuff, but I'm using a couple of things, Elite Observatory and EDDI, which give me text-to-speech things. So Eddie sort of tells me when I jump into a system that's not registered with cartographics.
Nice.
Which is great. And then when I scan planets, Elite Observatory, when I'm using the FSS, Elite Observatory tells me when I've got biologicals and stuff. So it's good, actually. I think some of these tools really help. Exploring can be a bit, what's the word? You can waste a lot of time doing everything really manually, and just having a couple of things that tell you when there's interesting stuff is great. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's good.
Yeah, I've normally found exploring to be a very, very hit and miss thing, because I normally find there's nothing for about 30 jumps, and then all of a sudden within 3 jumps you get about 3 or 4 systems. One's got a 9 on a planet, and the others have got 2 or 3 on moons or something like that.
Yeah, and it turns out a couple of tools out there will sort of let you do the jump. This one's interesting. Right, I shall take my time here, and that really, I don't know, I really like that. It's good.
Yeah, I have been splitting my time. There's been a little bit of exploration, so I'm still sort of like halfway between Colonia but I'm making sure that I'm going through non-explode systems, if you see what I mean. So I'm kind of like doing this kind of S course. So I get to a place where we've got one of the midway stations, and then I'll go off to the side for a long distance until basically nobody's got anything logged, and then carry on up towards Colonia in a parallel course, and then head back in, and then do it again the other way, just so that I can get as many unique planets as possible. But it does mean that I'm taking a lot longer to get to Colonia than everybody else. And the rest of it has been either on foot battles with, I think we had Psycho Cal, well, we don't think, we got Psycho Cal, my friend Ralph, and of course, Commander Aid Levice yesterday, all basically beating up baddies left, right, and centre on foot.
I thought you were going to see each other.
There was a bit of that.
Thank
Yes. And we did try the defend the cargo, defend the MacGuffin type of mission. And yeah, that went well, didn't it, Ben?
Yeah, that went well. I blame some people not being able to have a look behind them and then us being landed on.
Yeah, there was that, which
yeah,
it does get intense.
it does. I do think. Yeah, I have to admit, I thought we were doing okay with our two Scorpions parked there. It's just like I was like, Colin, there's a shitload of enemies behind you. Will you turn and kill them? Because if I shoot them, I'll shoot you, and I can't do that.
Yeah, but I was already shooting at another batch of enemies.
But I
who were
could
coming
shoot
in.
the guys in front of you. This is why I said deal with the ones behind you.
This is sounding really raw at the moment, Jen. So I would maybe give it a couple of hours and then come back to it at another point.
The funny thing was, Ralph said, "Well, listen, I've got a dominate suit level 5. I've engineered it to heck. I'll take sure I've got the mission so that I do. I'll be the least likely to die." He died first.
He did.
Yes. So it wasn't entirely our fault. We lost that mission completely, but
yeah.
Right. Well, I think we'll move on to development. Oh, go on.
I've done fuck all this week. It's all right. Don't matter.
Sorry, Ben.
No, I mean, I think it's just because, I know Psychic didn't have any alpacas, but I had a ludicrous amount of alpacas in RimWorld.
Yes, go on then.
No, I found one of the things that I love about RimWorld, as many people know, is its modding capability, and there is a strong chance that once Stranded Alien Dawn comes out of alpha and into a proper game, it might get mod support too, because the company has a habit of using the Steam Workshop for things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a firm believer in mods for all these kind of things because they add so much longevity to games. But yes, I was browsing Wingles. God, sorry, I just got a team invite from Miggles.
And that made you laugh?
No, but it turned the workshop into Wiggles or into Wingles. I was browsing the Steam Workshop, not the Steam Wiggles. That's probably something totally different. I was browsing the Steam Workshop and I saw they had a ludicrous amount of alpacas, and I had to go for that because certain things are just required. I also took my kids to see Avatar 2. Actually, on Friday night, my son wanted to see Avatar 1 and really, really enjoyed it. And then on Saturday, we all went off to see Avatar 2, and both of my sons really, really enjoyed all 3 hours of that and felt it did not feel like 3 hours, and it was a heck of a spectacle. So they really enjoyed that too. Apart from that, as you were saying, we did the spot of missions and things like that. And I'm trying desperately to try and finish Spider-Man Remastered. Hopefully by the end of this week, because I'm so close to the end, but I don't have a lot of chance to do things. And Miggles, as soon as I've done talking, I will actually come in to help you. All right? But I'm talking at the moment. Stop talking to me. What else have I been doing? That'll do for now. Yeah. Yes. I also I found somebody who I didn't know, but other people did know that. Apparently, I'm now one removed from football legend David Seaman. Although I didn't even know that this person was. I didn't even know who David Seaman was. That was my wife.
One what removed?
One person removed.
Oh,
You know,
what?
like 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So I'm 1 degree of David Seaman.
Genetically, or just through friends?
Just through people.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that was news to me because I don't follow football and I don't follow English football, being Scottish. So hey, these are things. Yeah, that'll do.
Oh, okay, right.
That'll do, won't it?
I guess we'll move on to the development news. On Monday, the 23rd, there was a Discovery scanner, which there were a few announcements. The interim update has been finally given a name. It's going to be called Update 14.02. That's what we want. Nice and original. And it will be deployed on Monday, the 30th of January. So it's less than a week. The actions that they're willing to talk about at the moment include more actions taken against Thargoids will further contribute to the pushback bar. Now, this could be one of the things that we talked about last week, where they sort of said it seemed that people were doing a whole load of activity that was having no effect on the chevrons on the progress bar for a system. They say improvements are to be made to the UI, specifically giving commanders better guidance on how to impact aforementioned pushback bar, and more importantly, stability improvements to conflict zones alongside a number of additional generalized fixes, which will be delivered upon release notes. So basically, fixes and more fixes. Yep, I think it's going to be a little bit more than just fixing the mission board, as in the subject of which I haven't seen any complaints about the mission board since that patch went live a week ago. Has anybody else seen or had any problems with the mission board since then?
Nope.
I haven't done a mission since since the Thargoids came.
So yeah, I mean, I must admit, it does seem that one seems to have calmed down already. So that is a relief. Overall, I mean, it looks like this is going to be a hot fix for a lot of things. Is there anything there, Psychic, you think is desperately needed? I've got a sneaking suspicion about something about the conflict zones.
Conflict zones. Yeah, I will believe it when I see it, because the errors I feel like are a lot more reliant on people's connections when there's multiple people in the instance. So if they're saying stability improvements to conflict zones actually means, hey lads, we fixed instancing, that'd be amazing.
Oh, come on. When's the last time they managed to fix instancing? Oh my goodness, what's
You'll get
happening?
there eventually, Colin, it's fine.
I have been saying instancing all my life, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I come on blooming Lave Radio, it's like the word just pops out of my head and I can't get my vocal cords around it. Dear. Anyway, I thought it was mostly to do with the Thargoids running away, especially around planetary ports. Is that still happening?
I've only experienced that once.
Right. Okay. So, and of course, what with Alec and being far off in the distance, and me and Ben not actually taking on the Thargoids this week, I think. Well, I'll be back. I'll be back at it later this week. So
there's one thing I'd quite like.
Well, go on then, Alec.
I wouldn't mind a shutdown neutralizer for the SRV, because it's bloody annoying being shut down when you're halfway up a building.
That's a really specific specific need. I don't know quite
maybe,
how many that would work with.
Niche. Is it niche?
Niche.
Definitely sounds like a you problem.
The very
Yeah.
definition of a you problem right there.
I mean, hang on a second. Doesn't the if you were in a wing, if someone uses the EMP field blocker thing, that or the neutralizer, that works for everybody in the wing, doesn't it? Or
maybe I need a wingman to help me climb buildings. Is that what you're saying?
It
Are you
works-
volunteering?
It works with people who are in certain proximity, depending on how many pips you have in systems and stuff. It doesn't just go, "Hey, we're just gonna clear the wing." It's proximity stuff.
So basically, as long as we've got someone who's kind of hanging close to Mr. Alec Turner, as he goes up the building, then I'm quite sure that the field neutralizer will save him.
I quite like
Is your hearing
SOV?
If I wasn't so
think
far
some
away, I'd quite like to science there. It would be quite interesting to know.
Yeah, I think some
You'd probably cover it.
experimentation's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Hello Biggin says it's got a 3-kilometer range, so you just need to hang in the city, and you'll be fine. Right. So, well, I guess by this time next week we will know how well it's been. It's quite ironic, really, that it's not out on a Tuesday, because it's normally out on a Tuesday. But yep, 14.02 is on the way. On top of that, they've said that Frameshift Live 24 will be coming this Thursday, the 26th of January. It's going to be hosted by Arthur and Sally, with Darren Halil making an appearance. Apparently, Adam's feeling a lot better. Darren has promised he was going to reveal all. We need to hold him to this. What reveal all is this?
We don't know. We just know that last week, just as the news of the stream being cancelled, Darren was like, "And just when I was going to reveal all as well."
You know. I mean, I'm. That was a joke, right? I just want to clarify. I just want to make sure that you know that was a joke.
This is a completely serious statement, and I'm going to hold him to it. Damn it!
Oh my god! I at the moment, the cringe is so real.
Craig has joined us again.
And it just knowing Ben's mind, reveal alls might mean something like the full Monty. We don't want that.
You can keep your hat on.
All of a sudden, you see the entire development team doing hot stuff as they walk on by. Now that would just be, well, it would be entertaining. Anyway. Oh man, we shouldn't give them ideas, should we?
Psychit, Miggle's mind went where yours did.
What?
The full Monty.
Okay.
Right, moving on from that, we'll talk quickly about the in-game events. What has been happening this week? Well, a little bit more news than we had last week. 19th of January, the CG for the Azimuth Stabilizers begins. Obviously, this is for you people who would like to have more anti-Xeno weapons on their ships. At this moment in time, how are we doing for the CG? Is it almost complete, or
completed a couple of days ago, mate?
Completed a couple of days ago. Well, there we go. Everybody was desperate for their stabilizers. I do believe you made an exception for this one. Did you, Psychit?
No, I wrote part of it. Like, legitimately, it's not even a joke.
Yes, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, Frontier reached out and asked for an actual statement. So when I said I wasn't doing it, like last week, when I said I wasn't doing anything last weekend, I was poring over this statement, making sure that all the wording was correct. That's literally what we just did. Like, me and Katie sat down and wrote it together over the period of maybe about 4 or 5 hours.
What, for 5 hours for one paragraph?
For one paragraph, actually trying to make sure we wrote that paragraph. We wrote that paragraph the same feeling behind it, but different words. Maybe over the course of 4 or 5 hours, while also talking about other shit because we're sisters, so we talk about a lot of things. But also in the middle of that, just talking about other shit. And trying to make sure that we got the wording that we absolutely wanted. And it's pretty, there's like one tiny bit, there's a pronoun that's been changed. But other than that, it's like literally what we wrote. And I'm so proud of the fact that it actually exists in the game as something that we wrote with. So we're like, it gives me like a little fuzzy feeling. I'm gonna add it to my my resume, game writer, narrative team. I'm absolutely not, just FYI.
Okay, well, on the 20th of January, Vox Galactica has given a summary of the Thargoid War so far, which was basically everyone going, well, we're kind of screwed then. And then yesterday, on the 23rd... Oh, go on, Alec, you first.
Just going to say, there was something buried in that Thargoid War update one.
Oh, do enlighten us all.
Well, I mean, not deeply buried, but there was the little hint about, don't forget about Grelix.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was interesting, wasn't it?
But there is hope. A small but steady flow of unclassified relics, those strange artifacts from Guardian, blah, 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 have made their way to Palin and Ramtar. A leading theory is that they share esoteric properties with several of the Thargoids' recent technological advances and may hold the key to developing countermeasures.
Ooh,
like we didn't see that coming, but cool.
Yes, countermeasures. Yes, we want the countermeasures, and lots of them.
So, relics.
Do we think then that there is a sorry to interrupt, but do we think then that there is a like a hidden, like a fully hidden CG, and they're waiting for it to hit a particular number, or do we think that it's just and one of those arbitrary just to remind you this still exists, and here's a little reminder that we haven't finished with that particular angle yet?
I have cynically discussed this on the forum. I mean, clearly it's easy to imagine if n delivered greater than or equal to n required, then release new thing. But Frontier are also tying this into a storyline that they have planned, in terms of what
that
happens
sits
when.
with updates and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So it seems highly likely that they will lower, even if such a bit of code exists, that they can lower or raise n required to their heart's content, so that this hits exactly when they would like it to hit. I think it's best that we don't think about this too much and we just play along, don't you?
I might just deliver like the 40 that I've got sat on my fleet carrier just in case, if it helps. If they're just 40 short, I hate to be the one gatekeeping that from people as well.
Yeah, I strongly suspect that if we sit back and do absolutely nothing, that it will still happen. But let's not do that. Let's play along.
No, I mean, I must admit the one reason that I am missing out on a fleet carrier is that extra storage that you get with it. Because, yes, I'd like to go and grind out as many relics as I can for future use, but of course I've got nowhere to put them at the moment. So, yes, I might have to then start grinding for a fleet carrier just so I can get my relics.
Do 5 hours, like however long you have. I'm not going to tell you to do 5 hours, but do go and fight in one of the more popular conflict zones with a bunch of other commanders. Job done.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Job done. Within weeks, within a month, you'll have a fleet carrier. Easy.
Fingers crossed, because that's what I'm going to be aiming for. Yes, I mean, as much as I enjoy the on-foot missions, it's not paying the cash. In addition to that, we have a Pro Aegis stance from Princess Aisling Duval. In a quite surprising move, she's broken with Empire policy and said, "Listen, guys, we should be helping out the Alliance and the Federation to show them how it's done." However, that hasn't gone down with the rest of the Duval family, and Fleet Admiral Denton Petraeus, who are all saying, no, we can handle this because we're the Empire. And yes, so she's been pretty much pillared by everybody else apart from one person who says perhaps she's got a point. So I don't know, maybe when the Thargoids are knocking down Akenar's door, they might they might actually do something about that. Finally, let's have a catch up of where the current status of the Thargoid War is. This week, 29 systems are currently being invaded. 94 systems are on alert. 28 are recovering from the Thargoid attack. Surprisingly, not one but 2 systems have been retaken. However, the Thargoids now control 524 systems. We lost another 50 from last week, and they now control 2.55% of the human bubble. So you're looking at losing the bubble in about 4 years now, which is up from 3 years last week. So going on from there,
like it has many dots in.
Yes.
I swear I've seen something somewhere where someone has said we managed to claw back or save 6 systems the previous week. So like our impetus as commanders looks to be waning a little tiny bit
Yes.
from the information that I'm hearing. So where likely Monday potentially balance passed as well, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, right. You mean sort of they've been
Yeah.
messing about with the figures to make things a little bit more of a challenge?
Well, no, more so that no, not at all. Like the impetus of commanders to the amount of commanders who were doing Thargoid combat when it first happened might be waning ever so slightly, and that's showing a direct showing directly in the numbers that we've only managed to save 2 systems rather than the 6 systems from previous weeks. That I think that's the information that I was going on. I'm very flaky. I'm doing like a politician thing and going with vague stats that I've potentially only heard and putting my feelings before the actual facts. So just scrap everything that I just said. It's not worth it.
I see. I mean, it does feel like we're slowly getting pushed back, which I guess is to be expected at this moment in time. But I will agree that maybe I am seeing people beginning to drop off.
Yeah.
Playing the game at the moment, obviously because of work and other commitments, and of course, there are other games as well. But
no other games. It's only Elite. It's only Elite. I don't know what you're talking about.
What I'm hearing is it's all my fault.
Elite is not a game, for God's sake. I thought we knew that.
It's absolutely your fault, Alec. It's because you're out
right.
there smelling daisies. You need to come back and climb more of those buildings.
Fight the war. Go on then.
Yes, right. So, yeah, well, it was always going to happen that people were going to slowly back away from it. With Elite is still doing a lot better with their player numbers on Steam charts than it's been for quite a while, despite the drop off. So it's yeah. I think we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, it is.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's that time of the week again.
Store alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert.
And welcome back. Well, we have the new Alliance Chieftain Hunter paint jobs. And I must admit, we know that Arthur's going to be quite happy with these. But I must admit, I'm finding them quite attractive as well. What does everybody else think to the new Chieftain Hunter?
They're quite nice, actually.
I really like it.
Yeah.
It's hypey.
Do you know what? Maybe I'm missing a trick on the store or something. I quite like with these to see a rotating model. Is that too much to ask? It maybe it is like a rotating GIF, because I'd like to see what it looks like from.
That would be nice, yes.
Different
Just to
angles.
rotate around the angles, yeah. And if we can show the underside as well, because so often they are different on the underside.
Yeah, I mean that yellow blob around the cockpit. Is that like an inverted Elite logo, or is that just me?
What do you mean? The one like kind of at the top of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the Elite logo. That's an Odyssey logo.
Cool.
Yeah.
It looks really nice. I love the fact that they're on there.
I have to point out that this product will only work on a 4.0 game client. So it's kind of, I'm afraid of, as I suspect going forward, none of the legacy stuff will, and none of the new paint jobs will be working on legacy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's really interesting, isn't it? Because they did warn that might happen, but every single new paint job they've released since has said that.
Even like the Twitch drops and stuff.
Yeah. So we've got green stripes, we've got blue stripes. I must admit, I do like the blue with the red. That's or sort of faint red. I think I might I'm going to treat myself to one of them, I think. Yes. So
I don't fly a chieftain enough to justify it, but if they did something with the Elite logo on a Corvette, or give the Corvette a little bit of love. You've done the chieftain now. I'll have the Corvette now, please. I think they're really lovely. That's a really, really nice skin.
Oh, Darren has now backtracked. He's said he was only going to reveal all in the stream that got cancelled. This is going to be a different stream.
That makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah. So there you go. Is
Darren looking for a political career, do you think?
Unfortunately, I think everybody's now disappointed that they're not all going to be doing the full Monty now. So, Well, you did say you're going to reveal all. It got a lot of people curious. So, yeah, I think on that note, we will take a quick break for adverts, and then we'll come back with our feedback discussion.
From the creators of luggage limpets and passenger lounge suitcase shuttles comes the latest revolution in passenger transportation, the passenger cannon. For centuries, circus performers have perfected the technique of being fired from a cannon. Paired with our new memory gel passenger pod impact absorption technology, you too can speed up disembarkation times from your liner by up to 250%. No longer be limited by pad sizes and excessive docking fees with the passenger cannon. But how does it all work? First, all passengers will be issued with a passenger pod inflation suit during transit. On approach to your passenger's destination, simply fill the inflation suit with our patented impact-absorbing memory gel. Then, once in a stable position in proximity to the destination, effortlessly slide them into the disembarkation chamber ready for launch. The passenger cannon is now available in both gimbaled and turreted varieties to make aiming elementary. Make your liner one of the top 1% in the galaxy. Buy a passenger cannon today. Warning, passenger cannon must not be operated on high-gravity planets or near geysers.
This is a public service announcement from the Fuel Rats. Please stop what you're doing and pay attention. If we can rescue you, we will, but you can help us help you by following these easy steps. 1. Fly 50 light seconds or so from the system's main star and drop out of Super Cruise. 2. Note down the current system and the nearest stellar body. 3. If you're on emergency life support, log out immediately. 4. Go to fuelrats.org and click Get Help. 5. Stay calm, hold your breath, and let our seasoned professionals do what they do best. The Fuel Rats. We have fuel, you don't. Any questions?
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. Wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When alarms sound, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman. Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
And welcome back. Well, we've got our main discussion topic, which is really an extension of last week, where we went around the crew to see how they felt that the Thargoid War was going and whether they were enjoying it. The spoiler alert, we are. But one thing that we did throw out to everybody is we wanted to know how the rest of you were feeling about it, and we got a few comments back on Twitter, and we've got a few people in our audience who are who want to have their own little say. So if anybody will want to raise their hand, I will bring you in at a later point. But we will start off with our feedback. We got one message from Commander Ned McReady from our website. Now, he says it's disheartening to see that the invasion progress bar on a Wednesday and then judge that there's nowhere to win. He wonders if a route threshold could be reached somewhere to say at 75%, where very many AX commanders do enough damage in a short period of time, it becomes exponentially easier, simulating Thargoid morale failure as they flee the battlefield. This might help avoid wasted Wednesdays on just before Thargoid Thursdays. What do you guys think to that one?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's not the first time I've heard this thing about Wednesdays. They were talking about it on Loose Screws as well, that Wednesday's just a waste of time because partly because of the reset. So obviously another alternative is just to change that complete reset into a squashing down of the current week's progress into a percentage that carries across to the next week. But I like this route threshold. Is this something that people have come across in other games?
I'm afraid I haven't heard anything similar to this whatsoever.
Okay, I get what he means though. It's kind of neat that there's like a sort of there's a point where the last day suddenly things speed up a bit, and what you do in the last day might make a lot of difference.
Yeah, but then again, thinking back to it, it's kind of like in quiz shows where they always say that the last round is worth triple points, which means that everything up to that quiz point that the last round has actually been useless.
Yeah.
People overturn it at the last moment.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's a swine to balance to get the route threshold right. I mean, yeah, very tricky.
Yeah. Right. Well, we have a volunteer from the audience. That's Commander Indigo. So I'm going to bring Commander Indigo in. That's if there we go. Hello, Commander Indigo. Can you hear us? Hello. Right. Some basic questions for you for the Thargoid War. Are you enjoying it so far? And what do you think could be improved?
I am, absolutely. I'm calling in originally from Lambda and Andromedae over in Loose Screws territory. Though right now we're hanging out in the small backwater of Jing, trying to save it from an invasion. And I think in general it's been an absolute win for Frontier. They've done a good job of making opportunities for players at all kinds of different levels to get involved. Obviously, they've streamlined the process of getting into that part of the game. There are, of course, some bug fixes and some things that need to be rebalanced. But one thing in particular I wanted to comment on that I think is interesting is something that happens in terms of the strategy. Obviously, we're still early in maybe the end of Chapter 1 of the war. But if you follow along on Twitter and the Discords, every week there are a couple of marquee systems that you know are going to fall within a few days. And the Burr Pit, for instance, puts up a list that's well balanced and shows what's going on in different systems. And once those first few have fallen, then there's kind of a moment of reevaluation and targets of opportunity kind of arise. And in some cases, they're places where local commanders have pushed a system within reach. In others, there might be somebody who is just passionate champion of that system that manages to get a larger organization on board. And we've seen those organizations turn over a system, in less than a day, or other times they're just, it might be a system that's really attractive because it has large pads or because it has ground bases. And so the community is sort of involved in organically picking what's going to happen next. It'll be interesting to see what they update in the UI next week to show what the opportunities are and how to be involved, because I think we'd all be kind of lost if we were only using Elite Dangerous to figure out how to play Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, that does. Let's just say that the third-party tools are a godsend for all those who I without the ED Engineer stuff and the apps that Scikit has recommended, I think I'd be completely lost when it comes to unfoot engineering. And it does seem that the third-party tools are beginning to win again, or helping us win in the Thargoid War. Well, thanks for that. We'll move on to Grandpa Aquaman, or, oh, for goodness sake, as if I've got a chance of pronouncing this one.
Christoph.
Pardon?
It's Christoph.
Okay, Christoph Studnik. Fantastic name. Right. He's watching the progress of the Thargoid War from Sagae and not taking part. He's never had the intent to build any anti-Xeno ship, but he would rather have some kind of stealth / corrosion-resistant specialized vessel for scans and researching the alien species rather than a combat one. But then he goes, but that will never be possible. So I guess he's inferring that he would prefer some kind of sneaky stealth gameplay that would be involved.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, who's to know? Because at the moment they've dropped hints about the Maelstroms, but who's to say we might have to do some sneaky stealth stuff to get anywhere near what's at the center of the Maelstrom?
I would adore that. I would adore that. That is right what I'm looking for. Because
yeah, well,
you get all of the big combat-y stuff in the XCZs, and I think we've proven that they're not going anywhere. So that's great, and that makes you money, and you really enjoy it, and like we get loads of people together, and it's a big blast, and we're having a lot of fun. But something different that we don't see very often is something a little bit more ship stealthy.
Yeah,
which would be really nice.
I mean, I would love the fact that you've got to approach these things in stealth, dock stealthily, and then you drop off everybody for a boarding action aboard it. Does that sound appealing to anybody?
Of course it does. That would be ridiculous. It's Independence Day, isn't it?
I was just thinking, actually, I mean...
We've got to upload the virus.
Yeah. There's kind of a minefield, isn't there, already in the Maelstrom? It'd be quite neat if those mines were so devastating that you had to really carefully pick your way between them.
They are really devastating, aren't they, Psychic? You've taken them on.
They're pretty devastating, but it's not like I know lots of people who have tanked them multiple times. It's not super it's not super difficult. It's kind of there's like a point where you get and you're yeeted out. There's no counter for it at the moment, which probably is a Grelic thing, as we've thought about more recently, but especially with the signal boosting of it on Galnet. So again, I think it's just a matter of time, really, something like that.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, moving on from there, we've got Wintermute, who've used. Yes, I've heard. Who, he's a regular contributor on the forums and also on the on our chat. He says that it's successfully increased engagement and numbers, but he does think that this is linked to the fact that owning Odyssey isn't required to taking part in the Thargoid War. So obviously he's happy about it, but he said if it had been Odyssey only, he didn't think we'd have the same engagement. Which I suppose that's the reasons why they split it into Legacy and 4.0. So, yeah. Commander Silenus Cleats. I'd say it would be great if less advanced pilots and ships and more new non-combat activities were available. Although, if I understand right, it happens in next updates. Okay, I'm a little bit confused with this one. Is he saying that he wants less advanced ships and pilots to be able to get involved in the Thargoid War?
I mean, we've covered this pretty extensively. That there are plenty of opportunities that aren't combat related for you to go and do in and like we've tested it out a lot as well. Like I know for a fact that there are people who fly around and go and rescue people from burning stations without needing like a metric butt ton of engineering or anything along those lines. So I don't.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know to what extent he's tried. I mean, because I've been put off Thargoid stuff in the past, but to be honest, the scout, and particularly the scout combat, particularly the ground base where there aren't maybe Thargoid swarms from the interceptors to deal with, and you can easily sort of land and repair, it's pretty easy actually, and it's good fun. I guess you need to pick up the AX weapons, but that's not too difficult.
Yeah. I must admit, I have actually done this in a Cobra with a couple of the AX cannons on the front, and going scout hunting on a Cobra is actually quite fun.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed doing that. But then again, I don't go through them as fast as I do in a crate. But it's still fun.
I had the prime example of this. Like, if you can get in a group of people who are doing Thargoid combat, pretty much regularly over the last, since the Thargoid War started, for the last God knows how long, every Thursday and Friday, we've had at least a wing and a bit, if not 2 wings, 3 wings, in combat zones fighting Thargoids. And I'm gonna call him out by name because it will make sense to you if I call him out by name. But at least one of those times we had Nick Lambert involved. Now Nick is wonderful, and we know Nick's strengths, and Nick's strengths aren't necessarily ship combat. However, if you're playing in a group, and he's got this little Anti-Xenos Viper that he's made, funny little bits of combat with in a group, even if you've got a little ship or an under-engineered ship, you can still manage it. It's just about finding that group to play with.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people playing in the Thargoid combat zones at the moment.
Yes, I know. Oh, here's a fun fact from Darren himself, because we got Darren in the chat. He sort of said that scouts were actually specifically balanced to be fought in the Cobra Mark III, which would explain why I'm having so much fun.
It would explain why 4 plasma cannons to their face takes them out as well.
Yeah, I must admit, now that we've got gimbaled cannons as opposed to fixed ones, it's a little bit easier because taking on scouts with fixed cannons, my God, that can be a pain. But yeah, but like I said, still fun. Right, moving on, we've got tomfoolery from Twitter. He's patiently waiting for Uncle Sal to make a grand return and give us what we need to win this war. I take it this means...
I think he's talking about Daddy Savlon, but he must be a nephew of Daddy Savlon and not a direct descendant.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll just have to see how the plot then turns up. I must admit, I do think that Salvation is dead.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe the report that he's in little bits floating around 22,460, and good riddance to him. But I guess we'll just have to wait to see whether or not he was just a brain in a jar and all that kind of stuff. Right. I mean, Steinkit, would you want Daddy Savlon back? Just as a villain, shake your fist at and go, boo, you baddie.
There are absolutely two sides to this where I'm like, there's part of me really enjoys the dissatisfaction of not getting closure and him just being dead. I'm going to say, I say three sides. The other side wants him to have made this miraculous escape and come back yet again, having reinvented himself in some kind of way. Really shove Torben Rudbecker's nose out of joint, and be that kind of guy, and then face the consequences of his actions. For sure. The third part of me, from a conversation that I had with Katie the other day, I can't remember exactly where she said that he was, but I'm quite interested to see if there is part of Daddy Savlon that has become daddysavlon.net and is now in NAI somewhere. But Kate told me that Utopia, because Utopia was mentioned not too long ago in a Galnet article, and when there was a fight against hosting the summit was between Sirius and Utopia. I might be completely messing that up, but that was a very recent time that Utopia was mentioned, and Savlon was all up in that. So could he have been involved there? I don't know, but it's another angle.
Yeah.
So I'm just quite interested.
I'm just hoping personally, I'm hoping they don't do Commander Shepard and Cerberus him back. But there's a lot of there's proper rap in the chat is saying, well, enter Davy Savlon's talking head in a jar, a la Futurama.
Go full Futurama with it, absolutely. As long as he's the big boss at the end in the Thargoid Maelstrom, it's just his head in a jar on top of some kind of crazy spider mechanoid. I'm involved. I'm a part of that now. That is my headcanon from going forward.
Yeah, it's funny that I'm just thinking of that kind of Mr. Freeze type thing that happened. Yeah. That's nightmare fuel, that is. Anyway, right, we'll go back to MV Cohor. By the way, I would apologise to everybody whose name I've massacred so far. You should know it's a tradition that I massacre your name if you actually send something in. But from a technical perspective, I think they outdid themselves and gave the majority of the players what they wanted. Sure, there are some issues and bugs that need to be tackled, but overall it makes a solid impression. From my own perspective, I feel that like the ED storytelling took a major hit and sits in the back seat now due to a war I didn't want and was actively protesting and working against. It makes me sad and leaves a bitter aftertaste. Well, I certainly agree with from a technical perspective, it's been fantastic. I don't think the story is done yet. I think it was always going to end up this way. Because I think that was it planned. I mean, does anybody think there was a way to avoid this war?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No, they had this planned a long time, I think. And I think the story will... I mean, I think the storytelling last year leading up to all this was excellent. I hope that's not what he's referring to. I'm assuming he just means, that because now that the war is here, things are quieting down a bit. But I think it will pick up again because we're already there's hints of stuff going on. D2 has gone on a mystery mission, and there's all these calls for Aegis to come back. I think Frontier are just giving us a bit of breathing room to enjoy the war, really.
Yeah.
That sounds wrong now. I've said it out loud, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand where he's coming from because, I mean, I got invested in the storyline quite a lot, and when Aegis got broken up, that actually shook me quite badly because basically, I guess we all knew that Savlon was a bad un right from the very, or Salvation was a bad un, really from.
What is your name, Colin?
Savlon, Daddy Savlon. Right, okay, you feeling better now?
Nah.
Darren in the chat said Psychic has Daddy Savlon issues. So yeah, when Aegis was played and broken up, that made I was really invested in that storyline, and it was well done. So yeah. Right. Again, we will ask our audience, because we've had more people in the audience turn up. If you want to actually join in this conversation, raise your hand and I will bring you in. And, oh, we do have one. We have a Katie Anna.
Never heard of her. Don't let her in.
We're struggling here with blooming Discord. I've been trying to invite her to speak. Maybe she's gone to sleep. Right, well, while that's carrying on then, we'll go to Going Joanna Mode on Twitter. They've said, I think it's been a load of fun, even standing on the sidelines and mostly doing evacuations like me. I wish there were more anti-azimuth things to do. I'm hoping Tanner will start his own initiatives along those lines. And no rescue stations from Gillian LS... and no rescue stations a Jillian light seconds from a star, which is, yeah, that's okay. Kitty Anna, can you hear us? Obviously not. This is going well.
Going really well.
Right.
I had a comment on that previous thing, I think. Hang on.
Certainly, Alec.
Let me reread it. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah. Something just struck me about the thing about more anti-azimuth things to do. So, the whole Operation Witch Hunt anti-azimuth thing obviously started with Psychic, and, other people start, kicking that off. So that wasn't part of Frontier's original plan, and I was just wondering whether we think Frontier had anti-azimuth stuff in their storyline to begin with, or whether they've run with that idea.
I think they've run with the idea. Wouldn't you agree, Psychic?
No.
It's great. I mean, it fits perfectly, and it's almost hard to believe they didn't plan it now. But nevertheless, unless your timing was incredibly fortuitous, you sort of kickstarted it with Witch Hunt, and it just slotted so perfectly into what they were doing.
So I've talked about this slightly before with regard to Witch Hunt. I think that there would definitely have been vocal people that were against Azimuth, biotech, and everything that Salvation was doing, all of that kind of stuff. Especially the more and more things were revealed about them, it was designed to have that sort of effect. I would say that we were lucky in the fact that the thing that we chose to do was utilize the current in-game mechanics to actually make a full. There were differences that occurred. Let's just elephant in the room. The Mbuni permit was a thing that we never expected that Frontier wouldn't have a plan for if the system was removed. I hadn't even really figured it into the stuff that we were planning, because it was just like, well, that system's available, we can use in-game mechanics to affect actual change. And I think that was kind of important to, and what was picked up by Frontier, and then whatever they were going to be using for their anti-azimuth force kind of thing became like a tangible thing that people could affect in game, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Ben?
So basically, Psychic said exactly what I was going to say, except far more eloquently. You know, Frontier, Frontier lent on what they're doing and co-opted it.
Imagine that I've been thinking about this for nearly a year now. It can't be nearly a year. That's bullshit. I need to find it out.
Well, hang on a moment.
Oh?
It's going to be at least 9 months, though, because it's been 6 months since everything in 22.460 really kicked off.
30th of June 3308 was the Galnet News article, Operation Witch Hunt opposes Azimuth Biotech. So that's like 7 months.
7 months.
And you were doing it for a while before then.
A little bit, not super long. It got picked up relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Right. Again, if anybody wants to join in the audience, just raise your hand on Discord and request to speak, and I will bring you in. Right. Next up, we have Bobber on Twitter. Now, he's not as enthusiastic. He's saying he's not taking part. Combat is still too specialized, requires a dedicated ship to build to meaningfully take part. The non-combat missions are nothing new, really the same old X to Y. It doesn't feel like new content, existing assets and gameplay loops reused. I have to disagree with, I think, every single one of those points, personally. Surprisingly enough. Like I said, I've been taking on scouts in a Cobra Mark III and thoroughly enjoying it. So the ship, and it's not even an A-rated Cobra. So I don't think that, I think the new anti-Xeno cannons have basically helped with that a great deal. The non-combat missions are nothing new. Same, yeah. The main thing that I've found is the non-combat missions in this case. I've never been under fire from the Thargoids when I'm docking and taking away and evacuating escape pods before. Yes, we've had the stations exploding all around you, but it's never been a case where I've had to fight my way in, pick things up, and fight my way out again. I've loved that, and like I said, it's taking existing content, remixing it, and finding something new. I've found that worked. And as far as just using existing assets, well, if all he's referring to is the stations, we never had exploding outposts before. Outposts never came under attack. Planetary settlements never came under attack before. That is new content right there. And then on top of that, we've got everything going on with the alert systems. We've got everything going on with the maelstroms, because people have tried the maelstroms. Everybody knows what my problem is with the alert systems, but I think, Bob, I'm sorry, but I'll have to disagree with you on this one. Anybody else?
Yeah. The new content thing, I sort of know what he means a little bit. In that, okay, so a couple of things that disappointed me slightly, I suppose, is that okay, the first thing is, and I was going to say this on last week's show, actually, it's a shame that, and correct me if I've missed something and I'm wrong, that all the Odyssey settlements are just abandoned. There's no burning Odyssey settlements. So it feels like, in terms of new content, if you like, what they've managed to do is put flames onto the planetary ports and stations.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame they didn't manage to do anything with settlements, that they just abandoned them. And the one thing I'm going to take back slightly is, I was going to say all they've done is put flames in the settlements, but actually I was watching, I think it was a Burr video, and one of the nice things about Burr, Reni's videography is that sometimes it really takes its time and it's nice and slow and it pans over things, and I see things that I've missed in the heat of actually playing the game. And I realized there was some some sort of bent and damaged scaffolding on the planetary bases, which I just hadn't noticed myself. So, I feel like I have to take something back that I think I've said elsewhere about them only putting flames on the buildings. They have done it. They could have done more. I'd love to have seen one of those skyscrapers literally, broken in half. And so I slightly agree with the third point, in that I think they have added minimal new content. I feel really mean saying that. But yeah, there you go.
Okay, Psychic.
I think they've added loads of new content.
Go on.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's really weird hearing like hearing those different opinions and saying,
I'm
it's only
talking
minimal.
specifically physical assets.
So we have all of these fully shut down stations. So I'm not like Odyssey. Let's hope that there is more stuff coming for Odyssey content in future updates. Let's give Frontier I'm going to give Frontier the benefit of the doubt. I know, funny from me, but I feel like a lot of the stuff here, as Wintermute commented, has been catered for those players who are still very much focused on an Horizon sort of or a like a 4.0 standpoint, just your base game, and the Odyssey content will come. I'm confident about that, but the stuff that we have, so the abandoned all of the abandoned stations. I remember the first time I saw an abandoned station, and I was like, that is insane and wild, and I've never seen anything like that in game.
No, don't get me wrong, that is
the
really
new stuff
cool.
in the Maelstroms.
The abandoned stations are really cool, but Frontier have got an awful lot of bang for their buck there. All they've done is turn the lights off and put a a rectangle across the mail slot.
But not just that, but not like the abandoned for the bases as well. The Odyssey bases that are abandoned, the Odyssey bases that are on fire, with the Thargoid combat around it.
Turn the lights
off.
Yeah,
absolutely. Why are you gonna make it more difficult for yourself? To have an effect that the effect has with the clouds. The effect is there, and it's tangible, and the sound design is there as well. I think it's a huge amount of content.
Dead cool. I just don't. Yeah, okay. I just don't think it's new assets. It's very clever use of existing assets.
Well,
speaking as a dev, I'm more with Alec here. That I've no idea how much actual work it is for Frontier to go and do, and to take existing assets from stations and put them on ground things. Whether they have to start it all from scratch, or whether they can grab 90% of it and reuse it.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a Coriolis literally split in half, but I have no idea how hard that is to do.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, you wanting effectively destroyed stations, not shut down stations.
Yeah, I guess a Coriolis split. I spoke without thinking. A Coriolis split in half is quite hard to repair, isn't it?
Well, and also we've had that before. We've had destroyed stations before. So if you had bits like when the Alexandria broke. When you got bits all around, you'll be but that's used assets as well, so that doesn't count. That's not going to be a new feature. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They cannot fucking win.
Okay, I'm going to come in the middle here and say it depends what you call as a new feature. Yes, Alex right that there's a lot of reuse of assets. Yes, Psychic's right, it's brand new stuff. And yes, I am Switzerland. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I must admit, I know that adding those effects onto this, onto those existing assets is going to take a lot of dev time, and it has been well done with the atmosphere.
It's brilliant.
With the atmosphere and everything when you fly around it. I understand also that it's one of these things where it's nice to look at, but there's nothing to actually interact with, if you see what I mean. And there's nothing, you can't do a rescue mission, you can't try and do anything. It's basically a shutdown thing. But even then, I mean, what could they do? They sort of say, okay, you're attacked by Thargoids. I think that happens anyway if you stay there too long.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything more they could have done for that. But
it's abandoned, isn't it? That's the fucking point. It's abandoned. You're not going to get missions from an abandoned station. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm getting rowdy. My apologies. People get shit on about me squawking and shit because I have an opinion. My apologies, lads. I'm just back off now.
You're not allowed an opinion, Gordon Bennett. Not me.
Yeah.
Imagine me with a vagina and an opinion.
I wasn't even going to go to what genitals you had.
Well.
Wow.
I think the phrase "moving on" comes to mind.
Moving on, yes.
Wow.
God,
right.
Please, do we have a listener who wants to talk?
Save us, Mr. Listeners. In the meantime,
make sure that you've got a penis, though, right? Yeah.
Or not. That's optional.
Oh dear, here's Mr. Commander Spanks a lot. Well, he's just saying it. You thought couldn't have timed that better. Yes. That is genuinely the username. And
I can verify this.
And I'll just have to put the voice on. It's dull and tedious, and the swarm needs removing.
Don't fight on a planetary base, then.
Yes, that's effectively it.
Ding,
next.
We need a bell. Ding, next.
We got Commander Exorcist. He's holding out for when they can fight him with knives. So I think on foot Thargoids is what he's waiting for.
I say Exorcist is being a pussy. Use spoons.
Spoons.
Surely chainsaws are traditional.
They're not zombies, are they?
They might be.
Oh, can they not be? I'd really rather they weren't.
They might be. All we might be getting is basically zombie soldiers from all those escape pods being remote controlled by Thargoids.
That would be absolutely epic, frankly. I would, being serious, I would genuinely love the first wave of AX combat to be essentially zombie soldiers.
Can we get a Left 4 Dead mod so we can twat them over the head with frying pans and guitars?
I'm sure that there's some modders out there, because you can do melee attacks, can't you? So basically, when you do a melee attack, a frying pan appears in your hand and boom.
We can't do melee attacks technically in Odyssey.
Can we?
The best we can do is use our little bug zapper.
Then how come people were able to punch anacondas to death? I'm sure there's a melee attack option.
Yeah, you can hit someone with your gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not with a knife. You're not allowed to use a knife.
Well, I'm
no savvy actions.
I'm sure that maybe as for arcs, you could replace that with a frying pan. I'm quite sure frying pans might be optional, or a baseball bat, or appropriate anti-alien melee device. Yeah. I must admit, the thought of basically having to deal with anything on foot with the Thargoids, I'm actually really looking forward to. Fingers crossed that it's actually on the way. So, yeah.
Don't fuck it up if it's on the way, please. Don't make the Thargoids pussies.
Mac Winston said the frying pan should also have an automatic cosmic clang effect.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
That was one of the best things in Disney Disney. Oh, I can't remember what it was. You got the little figures, and you put them on the.
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that my son, who was playing the game, was in the Star Wars, so he had Darth Vader, and my daughter, who liked playing the game, she had Rapunzel from Tangled. And Rapunzel is armed with a frying pan and managed to knock the living shit out of Darth Vader with the frying pan. It was just comedy gold. Disney Infinity, that's it. Thank you, NB River. And that'll begin. So yes, frying pans deal with Sith Lords. Right. We've got one from the Loose Screws Discord. So hello to the guys over there. We've got Commander Bloomingwind from Lambda Adromina calling in. It says, "Hi, Lave Radio. First time caller, long time listener." That sounds surprisingly Mayo and Kermode and Mayo. That does. The good. FDev has tried to create opportunities for players on every level and at every interest to participate. The bad, some of the war mechanics are a little clunky with pushback clocks resetting and mission rewards being meh. The ugly, the Thargoid War has been a bit of a mirror of humanity. We're a chaotic species, and even when it comes to the greater good and the best strategic interests, sufficient number of folks prefer hitting easier targets, i.e. ground starports with no swarm, with systems like Zheng with 2 outposts only and a shorter deadline need all hands on deck because of the nature of the system. Also, some folks want Thargoid combat to be easier, but I think the war has given me the opportunities to get good. I'm no expert, but as I said, I am going to learn. I've even helped greener folks than I in some scenarios. It needs to do bug fixes, but it's a net win for the game. I wouldn't mind some consequences to systems failing. Maybe whatever system the evacuated people get plopped on causes pressure on the home system, which will result in civil unrest or lack of food. Oh, that's from Little Big Yin.
That's a different comment.
That's a different one. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Would have
not just shouted that to us.
Would have been helpful if. Yeah, never mind. That's a show notes issue. Right.
Yeah, no, that was me just like chucking it in. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, sorry about that, Little Begin. We included you in with Commander Bloomingwind there, but yeah, Commander Bloomingwind's point about he thinks they've got the balance right. It's got to be a little bit hard, and because people have to learn how to fight it properly, which I think is a good thing. People have got to learn how to fight Thargoids. They're not easy.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be easy.
No, they shouldn't be easy. They are the big bad.
Yeah.
I think the comment about some folks wanting it to be easier, because I was listening to the Loose Screws podcast earlier today. It's a good point, actually. I think it was Jay and Trax raised it on the podcast, but a lot of the feedback, one of the hottest topics in the feedback thread, for example, is to make it to increase the range of the scanner.
Mm-hmm.
Thargoid scanner.
Oh God, yeah, that's an annoying one, isn't it?
It is very short, but there is a but, and also the call for more to have more than 4 AX weapons. I think the counter argument to that is that Thargoid combat is kind of supposed to be end game, the toughest PvE thing in the game. So things like getting close to the Thargoid to scan it, it's supposed to be hard, and having loads of weapons that can kill Thargoids, it's meant to be limited. And now, I think this is an interesting point, is that now loads of people are getting involved in the Thargoid war, and so a lot of people that are new to this are diving in and then leaping into that thread and going, "Can you make this easier, please?" and there's a reasonable response to that. Say, no, it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. Which I think is interesting.
Yeah, the main issue I think I have with that is specifically with the scanner is that
the scanner's ludicrous as far as I can tell. I mean, the way they were talking on Loose Cruise, it made me think maybe it's me, but I've tried a couple of times to get within, what is it, 500 meters?
It's within 500 meters because
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, because the old gameplay was that the Thargoid would come up to you curiously and try to scan you,
right.
And while it was doing that, you would turn around and scan it.
Right.
So basically, you had this moment of peace before it all kicked off, where he was looking at you, or it was looking at you, and you were looking at it, and you both probably scan each other, and then all of a sudden, boom. Everything then kicks off, but you would have all the details of where all the hearts were. Now that they just come straight out and attack you, there's no chance to actually do the scan.
Yeah, it's hard. I managed to get one because I was just determined, and yeah, it's bloody hard. I thought personally.
I mean,
so if you're in a group, and one of your wing is getting the old lightning hands hug. Somebody, because the Thargoid is static while that is happening, you have an opportunity then, even as the one who is receiving said hug, to make the scan. I've suddenly seen the hearts being targetable when I've been playing, but it's super difficult if you're on your own by a massive margin.
Yeah.
Use one of your friends as bait.
Yeah. Right. But overall, it's good to hear that he's actually biting the bullet and learning how to fight Thargoids. Because with the rest of us, I think it's a great idea that you have to learn how to fight them. There are tactics that you have to use. Otherwise, you are going to get wasted, and you will be going to the rebuy screen a lot. What do you think to a little Big Yin's comment about you'd like more consequences when a system falls, like the more pressure on systems around it where evacuations happen to? I mean, that would be just to the actual medical ships, though, wouldn't it?
It's a shame. I don't know if this is where this comes from. But it's kind of a shame that the completely shut down systems and bases, as Psychic sort of mentioned earlier, actually, there's not much did she mention? There's not much you can do at them, is there? Is there anything there's nothing you can do at them, is there? It's kind of nice if there was something you could do at the shutdown.
So I think what my husband is referring to, not that we have conversations about stuff like this all the time, not like we're absolutely nutters and obsessed with video games, but I feel like his main thing is the consequences of what happens to all of those lads who were in that system, because some of these systems that have been evacuated have thousands and millions of people. Where have they gone? Where is the pressure? Where have they disseminate to?
I think that goes down the back of the sofa along with gravity holding pizza boxes down and that sort of stuff. I mean, we can evacuate 10 times the population of a Coriolis from a Coriolis. So I think when you start looking that deeply, you're going to find disappointment.
Yeah, but you could have people evacuating up from a planet to the Coriolis. So the Coriolis is always filling up.
Yeah.
You can find ways to explain it. But yeah, I do like the fact that I think one of the first systems that people were trying to defend against, they managed to evacuate, I think, twice the population of the actual system.
Yeah, exactly.
That was funny. Yeah. So, well, surprisingly enough, that actually brings us to the end of the feedback. It's good to hear from everybody who has contributed. Thanks to that. Thanks to Commander Indigo for raising his hand to join in. I think at this moment, has anybody got anything they'd like to sum up with, or are you all happy with where things are?
Sorry, I'm having too much fun in this dead game and things.
Dead game in it, fully
Yeah.
dead.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, that just reminds me because there was a thread on the forums that just started yesterday. Basically, a new player said that he's actually thanking the devs for a genuine, really good experience. Thanks a lot. It's a laugh. And I think it took 4 posts before the doom mongers started to come on.
Okay. I didn't see that. I saw the thread and I thought it was lovely because
Yeah.
just once in a while these threads pop up out of the blue. Somebody completely, innocently and without any reservation says this game is bloody fantastic. And actually, I generally find a lot of people chip in and go, you know what, it is, isn't it? And I always like to see that. Do you know what? I can't remember the guy's name, and even if I knew it, I wouldn't shout him out because I think he's a newish streamer, and I don't want to dump loads of people onto him when he's not prepared. But I caught somebody random on Twitch the other day who had just got into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful watching him. I'm sure we're all guilty of this. I've come to take so much for granted, and talking him through just figuring out how to use a fuel scoop. When when he finally managed to start refueling his ship, it was funny because in chat, he said something like, "Oh, this game's amazing!" He was so excited that he'd finally managed to get his ship refueling from a star.
Mm.
And people in chat were like saying, "Oh man, wait until you see a Thargoid," and stuff like that. And as I was picturing this guy and what he's got coming and what the million things that he hasn't yet tried, you do get reminded just how stunning this game is.
Yeah, sometimes you have to see it through fresh eyes, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you kind of got used to it. It reminds me of the first time I was following Colo. One of the, I mean, she no longer does Elite Dangerous, but when she first started, her enthusiasm for the game was intoxicating. Really, it was so nice to see someone sort of wide-eyed and innocent, just discovering some of the bits in the game, which it really does. It makes you appreciate what's there because
occasionally, I mean, they're not all gold, but I do occasionally recommend on Twitch, seeking out somebody who's got 3 viewers and just quietly lurking for a bit because you do get these people that are new, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it is. On the subject of which, I think we will move over to the community corner. There's a few things to talk about this week. Obviously, with regards to the Thargoid War, Operation Ida have been incredibly busy doing science. They've been doing some tests on the alert system to see what works and what doesn't. So they've split their experiment into 2 phases. And because it's Operation Ida, we're talking shipping lots of canisters. So they did phase 1, which was a test to basically just move goods straight into the commodity market over a 24-hour period and to see whether or not the chevron moves. They shipped 101,000 tons of goods to the commodity market, which I think most of them was done by just 3 commanders, which you have to salute. And unfortunately, that didn't seem to yield any results. So they moved on to phase 2, where they ran missions from the mission board. They completed 702 of them in a 48-hour period, shipped over 205,000 tons of cargo, and it looked like it affected between 15 to 20% of the progress bar. So it does prove that the alert systems are affected, but not as much as taking out Orthuses.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if the thing that was in the Frontier sort of news post about the upcoming patch, and there was a comment about describing ways to move the pushback bar in more detail. I'd be fascinated to see how much detail that goes into, because we're guessing at the moment, aren't we? We're doing all this science to try and guess what makes a difference and what doesn't make a difference, and it'll be interesting to see how many more tips we get.
Yeah, I mean, it must be said that they were monitoring Inara, and it seemed that there was only two interceptor kills on that system. So it doesn't look like interceptor kills and scout kills actually did any progress. But yeah. You have to take your hats off to Operation Ida, who are basically they are doing research. Fair play to them. Right. Moving on, the Anti-Xeno Initiative, surprisingly enough, has continued to help with a brand new video from Asturian. Again, take a drink, everybody, because I got that wrong. And it showed the AXI small ship fun list, a discussion on which small ships are the most fun against the power pansies. And yes, it's another of their YouTube videos, which are very useful for dealing with Thargoids. And I must admit, I was a little disappointed to see the Cobra Mark III in 4th place. And they've split things into 5 tiers. Yeah, it's the Cobra Mark III was in the 4th tier. The Cobra Mark IV was in the 5th tier, and the only ship in the 5th tier. So, I don't think people want to fight Thargoids using the Cobra Mark IV. Dear. I haven't seen anybody fly that in absolutely ages.
Wonder why.
Anyway, moving on from there, we've got. Oh yeah, before if anybody wants to see the this video, we'll put a link in the show notes. We'll also have to congratulate our sister station, the Hutton Orbital Truckers. They have managed to deliver 50,000 tons of mugs so far in Too Hot, Too Messy. So that's an awful lot of mugs. Oh, that is a humongous amount of mugs. So we know that.
Do we know what the total is?
What the total to deliver?
How many they've got to deliver? Yeah, how far?
Well,
are they through?
it changes all the time.
I know, but it's presumably diminishing returns. They must have some sense of.
Well, the thing is, the end goal changes all the time as well, because some of the stations aren't even recorded in Inara at the moment.
Okay.
So you go to a system and you discover like 6 or 7 new stations that you can go and deliver a mug at. So the goalpost changes, so it's difficult to say.
Yeah. We're moving on to the next one. Now, this is very interesting. We have a 3D printed model of a Medusa, which was commissioned by Silencer555 on Reddit. This thing looks amazing. He's had it created using, I think it was Shapeways, and it's phenomenal to look at. And I am insanely jealous.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you see the video?
Oh, there's a video with it as well.
I was just finding it in the link here.
The first time I saw this was today on Twitter, and there was a video. It was basically somebody videoing their screen, showing I think it was a Corvette or something. Being approached by a Thargoid, by a Medusa.
Yeah.
And you're watching it thinking, why is this dude filming this on his phone rather than just recording it? And then he pans to the right and he's got exactly the same scenario in like real life on his desk. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it is phenomenal to look at that. So well done, Commander Silencer, for, well, I suppose commissioning it. I know that he had somebody paint it for him. Full details can be found we'll put the link in for both the music and the actual link on Reddit, which, apparently it was very expensive, but wow, it looks great. No ways about that. In other news, we have, the trials and tribulations of Commander Oso, which was posted by Commander Beesman. Which all we can say is that this looks like Lave Radio levels of chatting up. We will display this in the show notes.
He's been checking out the Lonely Pirates Handbook.
He has, hasn't he? Ah, dear, yes. It's obviously there's been a malfunction with his Magna Pants there, I think. So, oh yeah, and finally, I must admit, you do get Ben vibes reading this, don't you?
Oi!
Ben stayed silent that whole thing, and Colin was just like, "You know who's a pervert? Ben."
I was waiting for it.
And that's what she said. No, never mind.
Colin, all I can say is, when you're not on the show, it's a heck of a lot cleaner.
I don't accuse Ben of being a pervert nearly as much as you do, Colin.
I've known him for longer.
I mean, I'm happy to start accusing him of being a pervert if you need me to. If you guys want that semblance of just normalcy and just me accusing, but I can do it. It's not a problem.
I just enjoy flirting with Grant's son.
I bet you do, you kinky bitch.
Damn right I do. I love spooning up with Dylan.
Okay, this is now
only
taking
a
a
late on.
very weird turn all of a sudden. Yes. All right, and finally we have Commander Porphus. He would like to start a Halo-themed player faction based out of Epsilon Eridani, i.e. Reach, and he'd like to start that in Elite Dangerous. If you'd like to join his Halo-themed player group, we've put a link in the show notes. Isn't Epsilon Eridani? That's also supposed to be where Babylon 5 is supposed to be, isn't it? Fictionally,
kind of, sort of. It was in the Epsilon sector or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up again.
Yeah, JMS was always very. He never set it in stone, shall we say?
Yes, yeah. Considering someone used to ask him how fast the White Stars used to go, and he used to say,
faster than the speed of plot.
Yeah, they move at the speed of plot, which I thought was great.
And the same can be said for the Star Furies, and it's like sometimes it seems to take them several hours to get from the jump gate to the station. Other times, it's like, yeah, it's a 5-minute ride.
Yeah, that understandable, really. I know Ronald D. Moore used exactly the same thing in Battlestar Galactica, because he sort of said, we are never going to explain how the jump drive works, and we're never going to explain how artificial gravity works, because basically we can't, so we're not going to.
And frankly, in some things, you just have to say, okay, it's a gimme.
Yeah, we're going to have to. Right, well, moving on from there, we don't have any mostly clueless for you this week. We will, although I must admit that don't use SRVs and defend the canister mission is a good one, or watch out for people dropping on top of you when you can't see them. Has anybody got any other business that they would like to quickly touch on?
No.
Right. Okay, well, moving on from there, we'll just go straight to the shout-outs then. Well, while the team on Dex Island take a well-earned break from their Series 2, before their Series 2 return, there's plenty of material to fill the void. So point your auto assistant at your favourite podcast app, including Spotify and Audible, and search for the Dex Legacy, where you'll find bonus interviews with cast members and the writer, Emily Inkpen. And there's bonus material over at thedexlegacy.com. All proceeds go to Season 2. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts from Thursday at 8:30, and you can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or just if you want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. And let me just say that I'm incredibly jealous of Commander Vintion at the moment, because I know who he's working with for the next HCS voice pack over in LA. Nice work if you can get it.
Yep, I've seen the photos.
I know.
Who is it? I've missed this. Who is it?
Gates McFadden.
Excellent. I know, but for everyone else who might not know who Gates McFadden has played or in what show Gates McFadden has been in, would you mind elaborating? Obviously not for me, because I definitely know.
I will do.
But
Gates McFadden was Jack Ryan's wife in Hunt for Red October.
But more famously, she's known
it's all right. It's all right. Katie's messaged me. I know who it is.
For those of you who are more Star Trek minded, she's obviously Dr. Crusher from the Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Can I just clarify? I know who Beverly Crusher is because she's Will Wheaton's mom, and I know all of that, and I do know that. I know Star Trek. I just didn't know what the name of the actress was. Just to clarify.
Yes.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah, and obviously she'll be in the next series of Picard.
Yes.
Which, should keep a lot of people happy. Oh, I've gone and bought Gamma, by the way, so I now do have Claudia Christensen in my ears when I'm shooting Thargoids now. And yes, she's just as good as a motivator as Brian Blessed.
By motivate, you mean threaten?
Yes, effectively. You know, she's always right. Not that I'd say anything like that. So we would also like to give a shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. So obviously there's you can catch up with the back catalogue of Flight Assist. There is also the Guard Frequency, who do other games as well. And also we have our friends, the Hillbilly Redneck Radio over in the States, called Loose Screws. Now, following on for this, we also have the latest GalnetNews Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And we'd like just to thank those who have chipped in the Twitch chat. Thanks, guys. And also any in-game commanders that you've had. You've had Miggles, I've seen running around, and the Chris Mark IV. Anybody else, Ben?
And Siberius.
Oh, hello, Siberius.
Yeah, so we've been winging up and shooting things and raiding people and stealing stuff. As you do.
As you do, yeah. I like that in the chat. People are asking who names their baby Gates. But the thing with equity is you've got to choose a different name because you don't want two actors with the same name. So maybe maybe she chose Gates herself. That's something to ask her. Anyway,
gates are better than walls.
Also, and we also to thank Commander Indigo as well for saying some nice things and joining in the chat. Finally, special thanks, of course, also go to Commander Tokuso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have all created music for the show. And that is it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can email info@laveradio. Hit us up at facebook.com/Lave Radio, tweet us at Lave Radio on Twitter, or toot us at Lave Radio at spacey.space on Mastodon. Or you could even join our Discord server by going to discord.io/Lave Radio. We also have a TeamSpeak server where commanders like to hang out and chat, and you can find that at teamspeak.laveradio.com. Wow, a lot of words there. Do get in touch if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Now, Lave Radio, as you can tell, is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, good night to Psykit.
Night, Colin.
Good night to Ben, who's busy. And we'll say good night to Alex.
Good night, all.
Yeah, I'll turn my microphone and say goodnight now then.
And of course, special thanks goes to today's tech specialist, the wonderful Pontiac Santiago. So, until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this?
Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. You need a safe word.
Space can be loaded.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
GalnetNews Digest, 24th of January 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news roundup, are unclassified relics the key to unlocking the Thargoid maelstroms? Azimuth stabilizers will soon allow ships to carry 5 or even 6 AX weapons. And Princess Aisling is not popular in the Empire.
Neutralising the maelstroms is key to ending the Thargoid invasion, and unclassified relics may be the key to breaching the maelstrom's defences. Writing for Vox Galactica, Jade Sanderlin applauded the immense effort from anti-Xeno pilots who've taken on the unenviable task of preventing the Thargoids from spreading out from the original 8 maelstroms. The Thargoids currently control 524 systems in the bubble, but most of them were never colonised by humanity anyway. There are roughly equal numbers of systems under Thargoid invasion and recovering from Thargoid invasion, suggesting that neither humanity nor the aliens have the upper hand at present. Billions have died in this conflict, and billions have been made homeless. These are the consequences of Salvation and Azimuth Biotech unleashing the Proteus wave 5 months ago. At the heart of the Thargoid invasion are the 5 maelstroms, the Stargoids we all watched approaching over several months. Whatever is inside those huge clouds of toxic corrosive gas, they are the 8 engines driving the war forward, releasing wave upon wave of Thargoid interceptors and scouts. The maelstroms are protected by energy waves that drive ships back, and by some sort of disruptor field that renders Guardian technology ineffective. If we can get to the heart of the maelstroms, if we can discover what there is inside, and if we can neutralise whatever Thargoid technology it is, then we will be in a position to drive the Thargoids out of the bubble. Sanderlin sees the research that engineers Ishmael Palin and Ram Tar have been conducting over these 5 months on the unclassified relics, the product of plugging the Guardian relics into Thargoid structures, as the key to penetrating the maelstrom defences. unclassified relics appeared when the Thargoid hive mind was reprogrammed by the Proteus wave to assimilate Guardian technology. If that reprogramming gave the Thargoids the capability to invade, then by understanding that technology we may be able to neutralise that advantage. In the medium term, our hopes lie with that research, but in the short term, the future of humanity continues to depend on those courageous anti-Xeno pilots who continue to contain the greatest threat humanity has ever faced.
The Class 3 Experimental Weapons Stabilizer will be available for everyone on Thursday the 26th of January, and the Size 5 version will be released a week later, following the successful completion of Azimuth Biotech's appeal for commodities to manufacture the modules. These modules will allow 1 or 2 additional experimental anti-Xeno weapons to be equipped to loadouts, allowing for more varied and efficient builds to combat the Thargoid invasion. Azimuth stabilizers, which will be available from all rescue ships, address the long-standing limit of 4 anti-Xeno weapons in a ship build, and will further enhance the capabilities of Alliance ships as interceptor killers, and larger ships such as the Anaconda as scout killers. It'll also allow the development of general-purpose AX builds for those who like to fight alone. Even critics of Azimuth have recognised the value that these new stabilizer modules will offer. The appeal for commodities completed on Sunday evening. Many of those who took part will receive free modules in thanks for their efforts. These free modules will not be delivered to the rescue ships, but will instead be available from the Glorious Prospect. Azimuth is continuing to fund combat pilots to bounty hunt in LHS 1163 to protect the traders who've already finished and who've dispersed to other systems. Perhaps this is a sign of the lack of joined-up thinking in Azimuth's higher management. In other news, there have been bleatings of discontent about Princess Aisling's support for Aegis from the usual suspects in the Imperial High Command, closely mirroring the views they expressed as far back as October last year. Spiteful slave trader, the wrinkly raisin that is Senator Zemina Torval, suggested that the Prismatic Princess's request for the Emperor to reconsider her isolationist stance amounted to an insult to the throne. Oily sycophant, Admiral Senator Denton Petraeus, came close to suggesting that blue-haired human rights advocate Aisling should stop worrying about grown-up matters and go and play with her dollies, like a good girl. Only Aisling's close confidant and former love interest, the ancient but wise Senator Caspian Leopold, stood up for her, explaining that the princess was not in any way challenging Emperor Orissa, and her only intention was to prolong the Emperor's reign by improving the Empire's chances of defeating the Thargoids.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.